All right, guys, we are officially going to start our educational part of the call. We're going to be rolling out our new product. This is going to be the our official rollout of the CVS Health Final Expense product through Ascendo, and it's an Aetna affiliate. I know we've talked about it a little bit in the past, but today is really the official rollout. We've got agents and agencies that are already starting to get their writing numbers now. So we're going to go through this content. If you not sure if you've been applied for or have been submitted, let us know. Get with me, get with your manager. Let's make sure that we get you enrolled and we get you contracted with CVS. Because I'm telling you, I don't get too excited about products, guys. We're contracted with well over 20 carriers. This one looks pretty darn good. Like I said, so make sure you stick around for the entire call because we are going to be rolling out that product. But before we get there, we're going to get Jimmy Hernandez on. Jimmy has some just a couple of real quick tips that he wants to share. So Jimmy, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you, sir, and then we'll get the call. We'll continue the call after your segment.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
You're
Well,
welcome.
good morning, Senior Solutions. My name is Jimmy Hernandez, and I do have a tip for you guys this week. And this COVID-19 environment, I got to tell you, we got to learn how to adjust and adapt. And although we're primarily prospecting via door knocking, there may be some areas that perhaps you're in that because of spikes of COVID-19 or maybe because of local, I guess you can say regulations, maybe door knocking is not going to work. Maybe you're going to have to do this either from the phone or maybe do some kind of virtual application. And so my tip for adjusting, and Joe, were you able to put those slides up I sent you?
Yeah, I've got kind of the script first, and then I also have the
Okay, yeah, that's where I want.
business card.
There you go. That's the one I wanted. So, guys, what this is let's say you are prospecting by phone, okay? And in this particular situation, because maybe you're in an area where it's not going to be, I'm going to say, proper etiquette to door knock because of the COVID situation, and you're calling, you're going to want to go ahead and sell it over the phone, which a lot of our carriers, most of them have adapted, and they're going to support you in either an e-app or a phone app, or there's maybe a DocuSign, but there's various different ways, and we're not going to get into that. But you can do this phone, not face to, or you could do the application by phone, not face to face. And so, one of the obstacles that have arisen is sometimes these seniors, there's a I guess like a stigma of people taking advantage of seniors and doing unscrupulous things and cheating them out of their money. And so one of the I guess challenges that we have as agents is making sure that they know that we're credible. And so this is one tool that one of my agents uses, and I just wanted to share with everybody. This is a email. And so while you have a customer on the phone and you're going through the let's say the process with them, you're going to gather their email information, and you can email them. Here are my insurance credentials. You're going to give them your state license number. Go ahead and do the research, get the link with your state that will allow them to type in your agent number and verify or validate that you're active, right? So this is the link for Texas. That's where I'm based out of. And then below that, I have, this is the phone number for Mutual of Omaha's licensing department, and this is my agent number. And then you can confirm with them that I represent Mutual of Omaha. Obviously, this is going to vary by carrier. So if it's CVS or Transamerica or whomever carrier you're positioning for this particular client, you need to do the legwork to have this already, ready to go. And while you're on the phone with them, you're emailing it to them, and then that way they can see it, and you're not having to postpone your appointment and go on to another, I guess you can say, appointment or a second appointment. You're trying to do all of this on one call, close it on one call. So while you're talking to them, you're sending them this information. In the same email, I wasn't able to do a screenshot for the whole page. So this is the same email, but Joe, if you can go to the second slide.
Yeah.
This is towards the bottom of the email, right? So I have my signature down there, which is, you know, my name and business address and my email address and phone number. But you also want to insert a copy of your business card, which shows all the different companies. Well, not all of them, but it shows several companies that we represent. It has your photo on there. And then you also want to include a larger logo, like I have there, of the company that you're working with. So if you're selling Mutual of Omaha, you're going to insert the Mutual of Omaha logo. If you're working with Transamerica, you're going to insert their logo. So just depending on which, you know, which carrier you're positioning, that's the logo that you want to, you know, you want to insert. Guys, this is real simple to do. If you're challenged technically, you need to take the time to Google it, and that's all I did. I just Googled how to do that. It came up. It was real simple. I figured it out in 5 minutes, right? So go ahead and do that. Insert your business card. Insert your logo for the carrier. And by the way, if you don't have a scanner, you can I took that picture with my phone and I emailed it to myself, and then I just downloaded it to my computer. I mean, so it's real simple to do. This is not complicated or rocket science over here, right? So you're just trying to position yourself where if you're having to make a sell over the phone, that you're able to provide them substantial credibility that you are who you say you are, you represent who you say you represent, and then and this would take away or eliminate, you know, any fear from them moving forward. Okay, one last tip when it comes to credentials, you don't want to bring it up. You don't want to say, hey, I'm just telling you who I am, or, you know, just you want to have it ready to go so that if they raise the question, you're prepared to shoot them this email. Okay, so I'm not saying that you do this with every single person on every single call. I'm just saying be prepared so that if you sense that there's some, you know, hesitation, you're ready to move forward with this. The other thing too is that when you're taking the application and you're asking the health questions over the phone, if you're reading the questions verbatim, they already get it. They know that you're not trying to, you know, scam them or whatever, because the way these questions are written, you know, I took an application yesterday. I can tell at the very beginning the lady was a little hesitant, and then like midway I can tell that kind of changed. By the end, there was no hesitation on giving me any of the banking information. It's just a smooth transition. So that's just reading the health questions verbatim. So Joe, I'll turn that back over to you.
Perfect, buddy. I'm glad you added in there, like have the information ready. This is a great tip to validate your credentials and your credibility, but you don't want to create an obstacle by inserting this up front, like what Jimmy said. You only do this if you are sensing pushback or hesitation, or they're not sure. And you can simply say, you know, if they're giving you some pushback, you could simply say, hey, Jimmy, I get the feeling maybe there's a little bit of hesitation. Would you feel more comfortable if we could validate my credentials with the state? And then so that's just a real important thing, guys. But this is a great, a very good tip. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate that.
You bet.
Hey, Michael, let's turn it over to you for a little bit of inspiration and motivation. I know you've got a couple things on your heart that you wanted to talk about. So if you wouldn't mind, buddy, take about 5 minutes. Tell us what's on your mind, and then we're gonna roll. Promise you guys, stick around, man. We're gonna roll into this CVS product. You will not be disappointed.
Well, wonderful. Well, Joe, you know where my heart is. My heart is with all the experienced agents. We appreciate you, but we have so many new agents on here. So many people, Joe, that have bought into the Senior Solutions vision. And as I talk to new agents, I tell them, Mr. and Mrs. New Agent, you're like a franchise owner. Senior Solutions is the franchise. You're the franchise owner. And what we're wanting to do is bring the best franchise support to you in the industry. If I own 5 or 6 franchises in the greater San Antonio area, and one of my ovens went down, you better believe I'd be calling franchise support real quick. But why does the Subway franchise work, Joe? Because someone invests and buys into it 100%. They do it 100% the Subway way. The same thing at Senior Solutions, ladies and gentlemen. I always tell people doing things the Senior Solutions way is like baking a really good cake. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely not a good cook. So if someone asked me to bake a really good cake, I'd have to get a recipe card, Jimmy and Joe, and I would follow that recipe card every single line of it. I wouldn't leave the eggs out because it wouldn't be a good tasting cake, but Jimmy, probably more Texas lines. I also wouldn't add in Tabasco sauce, or that cake just wouldn't taste the same. The same with the Senior Solutions franchise system, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody probably knows the discouraging numbers that 90% of self-employed people fail. But here's the very positive numbers. Usually only about 40% of franchise owners fail. I mean, how often do you see, Joe, a McDonald's go out of business, or a Wendy's, or Lord help, a Chick-fil-A? I don't think I've ever seen one of them go out of business.
Only when it's burned down by rioters, usually.
You got it. You're knocking on my city now. We've had that happen. So the reason they don't say follow a system, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something. Nothing happens without you getting your lip a little bloodied, your knees a little skinned up. Here's the good part about it. Joe Johnson's already done a lot of that for you. Joe Johnson's fallen off the bicycle. He's skinned his knees up. Jimmy Hernandez has got his lip bloodied. We have made the mistakes. We've seen the potholes. And what we did is we tried to design the Senior Solutions system so you as a franchise owner can avoid a lot of the mistakes that we made in the beginning. Mentorship is so important, Jimmy and Joe, not only for what it tells you to do, but more importantly for what it tells you not to do. How it allows you to go around the costly mistakes that can happen in business. So, ladies and gentlemen, especially all new agents, I know we have an inordinate amount of new franchise owners on this call. We want to welcome you. I just want to tell you, take that leap of faith. Buy into the Senior Solutions vision. Our number one goal is to support you as the franchise owner. As I talk to people and I personally tell people, what I love the insurance industry so much is that the insurance industry is an equalizer. Where else can you get into a recession-proof business almost with a very low capital investment up front that has a great front-end income, but also gives you the potential to build a very healthy passive income potential? It's really the all-American dream. So, ladies and gentlemen, so I turn it back over to Joe right here. I do want to tell you what we're looking for, and I do want to tell you what you should be looking for as well. You want to be in the 10 percenters. As you may have heard, 90% of agents using the first 4 to 5 years aren't in this business anymore. And the reason they're not in this business anymore, ladies and gentlemen, is that they were policy peddlers instead of professional planners. The Senior Solutions franchise system is set up to make you a professional planner, for you to be able to generate generational wealth. And that's what we're so excited about. That's why me, Jimmy, and Joe are here for you. I think about the only day I sleep anymore, Joe, is on Sunday. So you may not get me Sunday afternoon, franchise owners, but almost any other time, me, Jimmy, and Joe are here to support you. You're the franchise owner. We're franchise support. You're the stagehands, and it's just an honor to do business with you, because even though you're in business for yourself, you're never by yourself. Senior Solutions is with you every step of the way. Back to you, Joe.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Michael. All right, guys, we're going to roll right into the CVS product. I'm very proud to announce that we've got this product. We're set up. We're ready to go. So once I go through the presentation, I give you some of the highlights of the product. Shoot me an email if you are interested in getting contracted with CVS. We'll make sure that we get you on the list. I am telling you right now is that they are a little bit overwhelmed, so we'll get you on the list. We'll get you submitted, but I'm just telling you, just expect a 2 to 3 week turnaround time for contracts. It's just the way it is, and I think it's better for you to know this up front than to have unrealistic expectations to think that we're going to submit your contract and you'll have a writing number in 2 days. Hey, Jimmy, and I got just FYI, I got an email from Teresa. I think I forwarded it to you, but you should have your writing number today, okay? For CVS. Guys, with that, we're going to get into some of the advantages of the product. I probably don't have them all, but these are just some of the things that come to my mind and some of the things that I recognize I think are some of the major sales advantages with selling CVS. Number one is name recognition. Who in America doesn't know who CVS Pharmacy is? Now, not everybody necessarily knows that CVS also has a health division that does prescription plans and Medicare supplements, but they're definitely going to recognize the name, just like Gerber Food. A lot of our seniors, everybody knows the name Gerber because of the baby food. And then when they find out that, oh, Gerber also has great life insurance products for seniors, you already have the credibility because it's a name that they can trust. Guys, 70% of Americans live within 3 miles of a CVS pharmacy. So that's pretty powerful as far as name recognition. Number two, look at these issue ages. Issue ages from 40 to age 89. 89. That's crazy. A lot of our final expense products that we have, some start at age 45, some even start at 50, and some only go to 80, and the best we have is 85. Now we get 89 in the mix. It doesn't happen that often, but I do get calls from agents saying, hey, Joe, I'm sitting with a couple, the wife is 82, but the husband's 86, 87. Is there anything we can do? Well, now we can. And here's the best part. Not only can we get them covered, you don't have to worry about taking a hit in commission. It's the same commission level for all ages. Some of you probably know with some of our carriers, I won't drop any names, but with some of our carriers, if you write somebody over the age of 80, you take a significant haircut in commission. CVS, no haircut in commission. So pretty powerful with the issue ages. It gives us a wide band. Also, they offer a 3-tier product offering. They have preferred, standard, and modified. Guys, preferred and standard are both same-day coverage. Very similar if you're familiar with like with now that Forrester does that, they call it preferred and standard. Transamerica's been doing it for years. Liberty Bankers does it for years. The nice thing about that standard is you can sneak in a few health issues that a lot of companies would make it modified or graded. For example, COPD. So CVS is a COPD friendly company. They can get standard, which is going to be same day coverage, just a slightly higher rate. Just a real quick tip, not only is it a 3-tier product, it is extremely competitive pricing too. Before this call, I just ran some real quick quotes because I've been working up some quotes for some agents. But just check this out. If you have a male, and I'm only going to quote male because we know their rates are usually higher anyway, and if they're competitive on male, they're going to be competitive on female. But a male rate, if you've got a 70-year-old male for $10,000 of coverage with CVS, it's $73.15. Guys, that's extremely competitive. If you look at, as an example, Mutual of Omaha, that same age range, it's $74.61. So they're like $1 cheaper. Transamerica is $75.53. So they're like $2 cheaper there. And Liberty Bankers is $73.31. So kind of in the same game as like an LBL, who we know is very competitive. So not only are they bringing us this great offering with some pretty liberal underwriting, very competitive pricing as well. So you can feel good about that. Face amounts, they will go as low as a $2,000 face amount, and they'll go as high as 50,000 on the face amounts. And there are some age restrictions, which I'll get into in just a minute. But if you have that client who's 50 or 60 years old, who's looking for that bigger face amount, we can now go up to 50,000 with the CVS product. No height and weight chart. How about them apples? We've been waiting for this carrier. We've been waiting for a carrier that has a no height and weight chart, plus has all the other great parameters as well. So, hey man, we're in the final expense, and we do run across some pretty chubby clients once in a while. You know, the client that's 5 foot nothing and pushing 300 pounds. Now you don't even have to ask them their height and weight. You don't even have to ask them that embarrassing question. You can just skip it. So great thing to have a company that does not care about the client's health and weight. They're looking more for medical conditions and prescription history. No PHI. What's a PHI? That's a personal health interview. No PHI interview required, which is awesome. And I'll get into the different ways you can take an app, but you know, if I can sell over the phone, or if I can do an app in person, and I can get an instant decision without having to do a PHI as an agent, I'm just telling you, I'm a happy camper. So I love the no PHI requirement. I think that's awesome. You can do face-to-face, or you can do telesales are acceptable. Guys, I'm going to give you some information about their telesales that is revolutionary and is going to blow your mind. I just haven't got to it yet, but just, I'm telling you, man, as you can tell, I'm a little fired up. This is the more I look into this product, the more and more I like it. I already have one agent out in Arizona who's writing it. He tells me it's like the best, like he loves it. So anyway, so you can do face-to-face, or you can do telephonic sales. You get an immediate point of sale decision on your e-application. Now, guys, if you're taking a paper app, if you're old school, or let's say you're in an area where, man, there's no internet connection, or your laptop's not working or whatever, dude, just do it old school. Take a paper app and fax it in or email it in. You'll get a decision within a couple of days. But if you're looking for an immediate point of sale decision, do an e-application. It's the way to go. Okay, here's the part that I think is so cool. E-application signature options. Okay, so when you're doing your e-application, there's 3 ways you can get a signature. First one is if you're in person and you're doing it, you simply say that you're in person and you have the client type in their name as the e-signature. That's one way. The second way is email them. So if you're working with a client and let's say you're doing it over the phone, they can provide you with an email address. You can email them the signature page, the application. They sign it, they email it back. That's pretty cool, okay? The third way is like revolutionary. This is what I'm so excited about. Because how many times are you with a client and they don't have an email address, or they don't know how to use it, or how many times has this happened to you? It's happened to me. Like I'm trying to do an e-signature. I send them the email. They can't find it, or they can't figure out how to open it. Well, let me wait till my daughter gets here at 5 o'clock. She can help me open the email and cite it. I'm laughing because you guys are probably laughing with me. You know it's true. You're dealing with someone who's 75 years old who very rarely uses email. They're going to struggle with having to open up an email to apply their signature. Okay, CVS has the solution. It's called the security question signature. So there are 7 questions that you can ask your client on the phone, and then you can apply their signature for them. Guys, this is revolutionary. So in other words, I'm working with a client, and we get to the signature part, and I simply just say to the client, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we need to go ahead and apply your signature. In order to do that, I'm simply going to ask you a security question, and then we'll be able to apply your signature. Mrs. Client, what is your favorite color? Or what's your favorite hobby? What city were you born in? Whatever answer they give you, as the agent, you are then allowed to go ahead and enter in that security question as their signature. Hey, Jimmy, how cool is that? That is awesome, guys. So this is something that's brand new. No other carrier's doing it.
Joe, I love it.
That's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of people, they're not comfortable with emails, or maybe they can only do email from their phone and they can't see it, or there's some sort of problem trying to do an e-sign or something like that. This just solves the problem right
Right.
here.
And what if they don't have an email? How can you do an e-application if they don't have an email?
Exactly.
I mean, there's just a simple little disclosure you read them that's right on the, as you're in the agent portal, all you do is read them the disclosure, and there's nothing you have to email them, there's nothing you have to send them. So guys, this is pretty cutting edge, man. That's pretty cool that they came up with that. There
Hey,
is
Joe,
also, yes.
can we back up for a second? I had to step away earlier. My dog got loose. But
How's
Bella's
my
like,
buddy Bella doing?
yeah, she's like a Houdini over here. We can't catch her, but she was chasing somebody. And anyway, I wanted to come back to the issue age 89, and I missed that part. But Joe and I were working on a case yesterday. I have an 85-year-old that needs coverage and an 81-year-old that needs coverage, right? And normally my go-to is Transamerica, because they pay the same commission level for all ages. But right now, because of COVID-19, Transamerica is not accepting applications on anyone that's older than 75.
That's right.
So Mutual of Omaha will still accept applications, but here's another little tip, right? And we've said it times before, but for all the new agents, with Mutual of Omaha, anybody that's aged 81 and above, they reduce your commission by 40%. So if you're at 100% comp, that means you're going to get paid 60% on 81 to 85 with Mutual of Omaha. Well, here's CVS. They're still paying full commission, and as a bonus, now they're covering up to age 89. I mean, to me, that's huge.
It is huge. And I promise you, and listen, I love Mutual of Omaha. I'm not bashing them, but I promise you, if they're 80, you're going to get a phone interview.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
CVS, no phone interview. Now there is a something that's available. There is a super preferred rate available on existing Aetna MedSup clients. So if it happens to come up and you do by chance find out that your client is currently an Aetna MedSup client and they qualify for preferred, they would get an additional 10% off of their premium. Okay. Now, the cool thing is that CVS will still pay you on the full premium. So your commission doesn't get cut just because your client is getting 10% off. You're going to get full comp on whatever the regular preferred rate would be. So we'll see how that works out. I'm not exactly sure the details on how you, maybe they have something in their system, like when you put in their social, if it will pop up. I don't have all the details on that one yet, but just let you know that's out there. True Social Security billing draft, or Social Security draft billing, what does that mean? That just means that CVS is gonna draft your client's premiums when they get their Social Security payment on the exact day, which is gonna help you with persistency. So in other words, if your client gets paid on the 3rd of the month and the 3rd happens to fall on a holiday, or let's say it falls on a Sunday, they're going to actually receive their Social Security on that Friday before. true Social Security billing means is that CVS is going to take the money out on that Friday before the long weekend or before that weekend to make sure that the premium gets paid. So that's a nice little bonus. And then there is a very competitive child-grandchild rider available with this product as well. So those are just some of the sales benefits that that I came across that I thought were intriguing, that I really liked. Here's just kind of a snapshot if you want to take a picture of that. As a rollout, there is a CVS is paying a $200 bonus. They call it turbocharge your business with your rewards. So if you pay at least 3 policies between now and September the 30th, so you got the a third of July left, you got all of August and in September left. So you got a lot of time to get contracted and get some business in and get a little bit of extra dough that you can use to go out for dinner or reinvest in your business or put some gas in your car, whatever you want to do with that 200. But I think that's pretty sweet. Got a lot of carriers are kind of throwing some extra cash our ways just for doing our jobs. Okay, as far as where the product is available, this map, I got this screenshot a couple of days ago. This is as of July 17th, so it's less than a week old, so it's pretty current. Everything in red means it's available, it's been approved. Everything in the light gray means that it's pending. So let's see, I know we write, the ones that we would be affected in are California, Florida, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. We write in, I think maybe Connecticut. We don't do business in really, well, we got a couple agents in Washington State, but and then New York, they have not filed it yet. Poor old New York. Nobody wants to do business in New York. I wonder why. Pretty funny. And if you happen to be, I know we're doing this video live, but if you happen to be catching this video as a replay on YouTube and you're thinking to yourself, wow, this is some really good content. I like what these guys are talking about. It's good sales training. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Check out our the weekly videos that we do every single week. And maybe if you're watching this and if you're not a senior solutions agent and you want to become a senior solutions agent, certainly give me a call and we will get you signed up. I don't know why I got that thing on there. And we will get you signed up, and maybe you want to take advantage of this new CVS product. Now, Jimmy was talking about COVID-19 and the fact that Transamerica is usually his go-to company for clients that are older, above age 80, but Transamerica and a few other carriers, I don't have a complete list. I think Royal Neighbors, and I wish I had a better list for you. I could tell you everybody that has restrictions, but what I can tell you is CVS has no COVID restrictions. There's no age restrictions, as well as there's no additional documentation needed. They don't have to do a COVID survey. It's simply just the regular final expense application. So CVS is just kind of, treating COVID as kind of like no big deal. Okay, so just wanted to kind of throw that out there. All right, let's go into the some of the benefits and the plans. It is a 3-tier product, as I mentioned. Level is going to include the preferred and standard, and then modified would be considered like most of us are used to what we refer to as graded. This screenshot right here gives you the ages. So if you do have that client that is in between ages 40 and 55, I'm sorry, those are the ones that you can go up to the $50,000 face amount. Up to age 65, you can still do $40,000. And then if they're over 65, 66 to 75, you can go up to $30,000. And then age 76 to 89, you can still do $25,000 of coverage. Now, guys, their modified plan is issue ages from 40 to 75, so it does cut off at 75, and the maximum death benefit is $25,000. Their modified plan is very similar to what we're used with most carriers, as we refer to as graded. It's a 2-year reduced death benefit, which means is if the client were to pass away due to natural causes in the first 2 years, it's going to be 100% return to premium plus an additional 10%, or in other words, it's 110% of all paid in premiums. Of course, accidental death pays out immediately. So I'm assuming we don't have any questions on that. Some of the benefit riders, there is an accelerated death benefit if they have a qualifying event, which would be life expectancy less than 12 months. They can receive up to 50% of the death benefit while they're still alive, and when they do pass, their family will get the additional 50%. Accidental death benefit rider pays 100% of the base face amount. Accidents due to death, issue ages 40 to 70. Now, here's what I'm going to just tell you. Here's the disclaimer. I've been trying to get an answer on this. I don't have it yet. I'm doing some research. When I was trying to take an app the other day, I was trying to add in the accidental rider, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it to add. And now don't quote me on this, but I'm thinking it's a possibility that maybe if they're between ages 40 and 70, that it's included in the policy, but don't quote me to that. I'm still doing my research. In fact, before this call, I was on the phone with CVS or Aetna trying to get it figured out. The guy I was talking to, pulled up some brochures and some information. I still wasn't getting my clarity on that. So I know there's an accidental death benefit rider. Whether it's free or you have to pay for it, I'm not 100% sure. I will get you the answer to that. If it's free, that'll be pretty cool. But I'm not 100% sure. So I do apologize. Grandchild rider. Don't have a lot of details on this, but this would be a paid rider if your clients want to add their children, or in our case, potentially it's usually grandchildren that they would be adding on there as a rider. As far as the e-app goes, I've been messing around with it on the website. It's very easy to use. You just log into their website. There's a quick agent portal. You give them, you can quote from the website, and then it takes you immediately to the application. You answer all the health questions. By answering the health questions, it's through a process of elimination. It's going to determine the level of coverage that they're eligible for, and then you simply just enroll the client. And with the e-app, like we said before, you're going to get an instant decision as you're doing it. And this is just kind of a screenshot of basically what it looks like when you're enrolling your benefit or enrolling your client. Okay, so it's very easy to use on the website. You won't have any problem doing it. If you do need help, we can certainly give you some help. All right, moving on. I think, okay, we already talked about this. I just had a shot on here, and that was the security question signature. This just verifies what I was talking about, is that you do have to read the terms and conditions of the security question. Your client, you read them the disclosure, they agree to it, then you ask them one of the 7 security questions, and then you can apply their signature. Moving on. So far, I don't know if I can answer the questions, but Jimmy or Michael, any questions before I move into the underwriting and health questions?
I tell you, Joe, I think it's too good to be true. I'm sitting here amazed, Joe, as we talk to new agents, we tell them they're normally, meeting 3 types of clients: that healthy non-smoker that wants the lowest rates, and then obviously that client that has some health situations, insulin dependent diabetic, COPD, out of cancer. I'm telling you, Joe, CVS has perfectly covered those first 2 types of clients. And then with a no phone interview, the fact of the no height weight chart, and I think a lot of the new agents just don't realize the importance of the Social Security billing, the fact of how that really reduces your charge offs. So amazing, Joe. And I think a lot of the agents, I'm receiving texts like crazy now from the agents. There's a lot of people really excited about getting out there and really marketing the CVS Health product.
Guys, okay, so which brings me to if make sure, and even if we have to double and triple check, um, I know we talked about CVS a couple of weeks ago. I put a bunch of names on the list. If you haven't gotten that email, just reshoot me an email. Everybody on this call that is wanting to get contracted with CVS, make sure I get your name so I can put it on the list, or we can double check when exactly you were submitted. Because if you were submitted, let's say 2 or 3 weeks ago, you should be getting your writing number any day now. All right, so underwriting questions. Basically what I have here is just a copy of the actual paper application, which when you're doing the e-application, it's really kind of the same process. So I'm just gonna kind of go through this and just read some of the things as far as the knockout questions. What does knockout questions mean? Guys, when it comes to final expense, what I love about writing final expense is how easy it is to write it simply using the carrier's applications. Because in most cases, there's always exceptions, but in most cases, the application is the field underwriting guide because it's yes or no. It's either a knockout question or it's a cascading application. In this case, it's what we refer to as a cascading application. You keep going through the application and asking the questions until you get a yes. And obviously, if you get a yes in this first section in part A, that means you do not pass go. You go look for another carrier. So I'm just going to start reading through some of these. I'm not going to read all of them, but some of the ones that we probably already know about. First of all, if you've been advised to enter a hospital, nursing home, skilled facility, psychiatric facility, correctional facility, you're not going to be eligible for this product. If you're receiving or been advised to receive home health care or hospice, not a product for you. Probably need to go guaranteed issue. If you use a wheelchair or mobile scooter, you're not eligible. So right there we know, hey, they're not scooter friendly. No worries, we've got plenty of carriers that are. We need to go to a different company. If they have impairments requiring assistance from anyone for the following activities of daily living. In other words, if your client can't bathe, dress, eat, do toiletries, get out of bed or a chair, or moving about without assistance, they do not get approved for this product. We need to look for a different company. If they've been advised to use oxygen equipment to assist with breathing, except for a CPAP or for sleep apnea, they do not qualify. So what that means is if your client has a standalone oxygen device, they're not going to qualify. If they're getting kidney dialysis, not going to qualify. HIV, not going to qualify. Have you ever received or been advised to receive organ, bone marrow transplant, or amputation due to any disease or complication of diabetes? Not going to qualify. Okay, what that means is that if your client had to get their pinky toe amputated because of diabetes, they don't qualify. Okay, an amputation is an amputation. Doesn't matter if it's their whole leg or just a little pinky toe. Okay, because what happens is when you have diabetes and that it starts eating away and they start with the pinky toe, then usually it's the rest of the toes, then it's the foot, then it's the leg. So it always starts with usually just the pinky toe or the big toe. And then it typically progresses and creeps up. The reason why I bring that up is because I have agents in the past that's like, well, yeah, they had an amputation, but it was just the pinky toe. I'm like, okay, that's where it always starts. Just so you know, they never cut off the whole leg usually. These are the continuation of the knockout questions. The AIDS question, okay, we know about that. Moving down into question 6. ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's, Huntington's disease, sickle cell anemia. If they have Alzheimer's or dementia or mental incapacity, not going to qualify. If they have ever had congestive heart failure, pulmonary fibrosis, terminal condition, or end-stage disease like renal failure, not going to qualify. Cerebral palsy, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, or unoperated heart defects aren't going to qualify. Guys, we have other carriers that will work. This is the beauty of working with Senior Solutions. We're a full service brokerage. Not one carrier is going to be the fit all end all carrier to cover everybody. But I'm just telling you, what they do a pretty good job here. Within the past 2 years, have you been diagnosed to receive or been advised to receive chemo or radiation for any form of cancer? So just look at the question, 2 years. So what that's telling you is that in order to qualify for coverage, CVS is only giving you a 2-year look back for cancer, which is huge because a lot of carriers are 3 and even 4-year look back for any type of cancer. And have you ever been diagnosed with more than one occurrence of the same or different type of cancer? So what that's telling you there is that they're looking for a 2-year no cancer, and they're looking for someone that hasn't had multiple occurrences of cancer. So if you have, what that means is that, as an example, let's say you got a client and they've been cancer free for 2 years, but that was like the 3rd time they've gotten cancer, they're not going to qualify for this product. You got to find a different carrier that doesn't have that that disclaimer in there. Okay, now let's assume, yes.
Can I just say something real quick? So not only with CVS, but all the carriers, when they ask that cancer question, cancer free, what they're talking about is from the last treatment. So sometimes you'll be in the field and somebody will say, oh, well, I've been cancer free for 3 years. And then I ask the follow-up question, when was the last time you received treatment? And they'll say, oh, 6 months ago or 10 months ago. Okay, that technically is when the clock starts regarding the life insurance application. When was their last treatment? So their last treatment has to have been over 2 years in this particular scenario.
Yeah, which would include the chemo and radiation. Yeah, for sure. Very good point. Thank you. That sometimes these things can be missed, and I tell you what, all you have to do is be out in the field writing business, and you miss that, and then it's like ingrained in your brain. Now you know to so many things that I've messed up on, and I'm like, man, I'll never make that mistake again. Okay, so our client has answered no to all the questions, so we're proceeding. Now, let's see if they can qualify for a modified plan. Within the past 2 years, have you been diagnosed to receive or been advised to receive treatment or medication for alcohol or drug abuse? Been convicted or pleaded guilty to driving under the influence? Okay, so it's telling you right there, CVS doesn't like drunk people. So if you're a druggie, you like to drink and go out and crash your car, they don't want you as a client, okay? Complications of diabetes, diabetic coma, insulin shock, and then all the apathies, retinopathy, neuropathy. So in other words, if they've had any type of diabetic complications, including the most common is the neuropathy, which is the diabetic nerve pain, they can get covered, but it's going to be modified. So in that particular situation, which it does happen quite often, we need to look at a different carrier. We've got plenty of carriers that will accept that. Royal Neighbors comes to mind. We can send that client right over to Royal Neighbors and they'll snatch them up. Kidney or liver disease. So unless it's kidney dialysis or renal failure, if you do have a client with kidney disease, living with it, they can still get coverage if they've been treated in the last 2 years. It's just going to be a modified plan. Okay. What's cool about that is that they're not asking about like a heart attack in that. Next is within the past 2 years, have you been diagnosed or received or been advised to receive treatment for angina, which is chest pain, heart attack, cardiomyopathy, or any type of heart or circulatory procedure, which include pacemaker, stent, and those types of things. Stroke, TIA, aneurysm, or a brain tumor. Okay. Let me just double check something real quick here. Let me go back one, part C. Okay. So if it has been within the last 2 years on those events, you can still get them qualified. It's just going to be modified. Okay, part C. If they answer any questions yes in part C, this means they can still get standard coverage, but not preferred. If they answer no to everything, then they're going to get preferred. So part C starts out within the past 2 years. Have you been diagnosed with, received, or been advised to receive treatment for angina, heart attack, cardiomyopathy, or any type of heart or circulatory procedure or surgery, stroke, or TIA? So let me see here. That's within the last 2 years. Yes. All right. Give me a question here. Seems like they're asking the same question twice. I apologize. I'm a little confused now. Oh. Okay. Back up. We got to back up. I read the question wrong because I thought this was a, okay. Question 2. This is important. Within the past year, I knew there was a catch, and I was thinking I was reading something wrong. Okay, question 2 is asking within the past year, have they received any of these things? So what that's telling you is that they only have a 1-year look back to get standard for heart attack or stroke or any type of heart surgery. Follow with me. This is really important because a lot of carriers have a 2-year look back. If it's a 2-year, like they have to be 2 years removed from a stent or open heart surgery or a heart attack or stroke or any type of heart surgery. CVS, it's only a 1-year look back. So as an example, let's say your client had a heart attack 13 months ago. Section 2, you can answer no to this question because it's been over a year. Follow me? Sorry about that. I think when I first read that, because it was question 2, I think I inserted the word to, and I think I said within the past 2 years, and it should have been only in the past year only. Thought something was wrong there. Okay, now we're part C. Within the past 2 years, have you been diagnosed, received, or been advised to receive treatment for heart attack, cardiomyopathy, any type of heart surgery or procedure, or stroke? Okay, so if they, as an example, if your client had heart surgery, heart attack, or stroke, and it's been over 2 years, and they answer no to the rest of the questions, they're going to get preferred. If it's been less than 2 years, but over a year, they're still going to get standard, which is awesome, guys. We run into so many clients that are like right in between. They're not quite, like they had a heart attack, but it was almost 2 years ago. Yeah, it was about 18 months ago. Well, you can't lie about that. You have to answer the question. Now we can still get them a same day coverage. And then the last question, question 2 of part C, have you ever been diagnosed with, received, or been advised to receive treatment or medication for Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, systemic lupus, SLE, chronic obstruction pulmonary disease, COPD, chronic bronchitis, emphysema, or any other chronic respiratory condition. If they answer yes, they're going to get standard. So if you got that client who has COPD, which we run into a lot, answer yes to the question, and they are still going to get standard coverage. And if they answer no to everything, guys, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to quote them preferred. And I believe that is the last slide. Yeah, so that's the nuts and bolts of the underwriting. Jimmy, Michael, any questions or comments on this?
Jimmy and Joe, as you know, repetition beats inspiration every single time.
Yeah.
If I was an agent, this is a game-changing product, ladies and gentlemen. I would watch this video. It will be up and running, I guess, no later than tomorrow or Monday. This is going to be a game-changing product, especially new agents. Watch this video each and every time. Go over it constantly so it will seep into your consciousness, because this is definitely be a product you're going to be leveraging out there. So wonderful job today, Joe.
Thanks, buddy. I'm learning, guys. We're all learning. Remember, this product was just introduced. Within the last 24 hours, I just basically knuckled down and read single thing that I could to bring you guys this valuable content. But Jimmy, I know you're a huge product guy. Any impressions or any thoughts about this product?
Well, I really like. It has a lot of good things. I really like the product, but I'm going to tell you what I like most, Joe, is the name brand recognition. Mutual of Omaha is a household name, and many times when I'm in front of somebody, maybe the better premium might be a different carrier, but that carrier's name is not recognizable, and they'll like, no, I just want Mutual of Omaha, right? Well, this is a game changer because this is a household name. I mean, CVS is all over the U.S., even in remote areas, and Aetna is also a household name. So it's CVS, via Aetna is the underwriter. So I mean, you got a great brand name, household recognition, and then it's a great product. I mean, my two favorite things about this is the age group. A lot of times I'll get somebody that's under 45, like let's say 41, 42, 43, and they're overweight. This goes down to age 40 and there's no height and weight. And then, we have up to age 89. I mean, my goodness, that's amazing. So, and you can still ride them with COVID, and it pays 100% comp. Great product. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for everybody to get the writing number and then get out there and do business. One thing I recommend everybody do, as soon as you get appointed, you get your agent number, log into the website that's going to be available to you as an agent, get as much sales material as you can, order brochures, download PDF copies, go print it yourself. But like the more visual handouts, materials that you have with the CVS logo on it, the easier it is going to be to sell this product. So Joe, back to you.
All right, awesome. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I'll work very diligently to get this up on our YouTube channel, and then we'll get it also, I'll get it emailed out to everybody. Oh, by the way, just one quick comment. If I do send a lot of emails via Constant Contact. If you are a Google email user, like the majority of us, all those emails are going to go into your promotions box. So just if you're a Google user, just do me a favor, just check your promotions box once in a while. There may be a couple of emails in there from Senior Solutions that you're missing out on. All right, everybody. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend, and call us if you need us. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.